Hello.
And welcome to Can I Teach Thinking? You're probably thinking to yourself that this is a pretty strange question to ask, and one with an obvious answer. As an adult, and very probably a teacher watching this video, you will no doubt have taught yourself new approaches to several aspects of thinking. And so you'll be saying to yourself, yes, of course we can teach thinking. And you would be right. But before we accept this, let's take a step back and analyse the answer. When did you learn to think? And who taught you? The answer is most probably that you taught yourself, and long after you left school. Whilst we teach numeracy and literacy in school, and we even teach every child in the country the firefighting techniques used in the 17th century, we seem not to believe that the skills of thinking warrant specific focus or attention within the national curriculum.
In this video, we will explore how our brains learn and think.
And we will begin to consider some of the most effective ways of teaching thinking.
As we all know, we use our brains all of the time to learn new things, and then we draw upon this learning to answer questions, make decisions, and think through our daily challenges.
Over the last 30 years, educationalists, psychologists and neuroscientists have begun to piece together some fascinating research about how our brains approach these twin challenges of learning and thinking.
Surprisingly, they have discovered that to get the best out of our brain's capability to learn and think, we need to consciously and proactively manage these two processes.
By using the learning tools, self-evaluation, you can improve your brain's engagement of these twin functions.
You can significantly enhance your brain's capability and capacity for learning and thinking. Before we get into some brain games, which will illustrate why teaching learning and thinking is so important to our development and growth,
I want to share a little bit more with you about our Learning Tools diagnostic. This diagnostic will give you your own personal learning toolkit, filled with all manner of learning, designed to enhance your thinking and your learning skills.
Research tells us that there are 5 core elements which have the greatest impact on our success as a lifelong learner. And it's great to know that no matter how old we are, we can develop and improve these elements.
We have called these elements thinking, objective setting, optimization, learning, and sharing. The diagnostic begins with the Learning Tools questionnaire. Once you've completed this, Tools generates a dynamic learning pathway, your very own toolbox of development solutions, tips and tricks to support your growth and development in these 5 elements.
What is particularly exciting about this pathway is that it will give you access to the most up-to-date and pioneering knowledge in the world of brain science, and will provide you with learning which will enhance your brain and help you to use all of its incredible brilliance. We know that when you apply these systems, you will find it easy to use your incredible memory. You will find thinking and problem solving easier, and your concentration and focus will improve.
Now let's ask ourselves a few questions.
Why does my brain need help in the act of thinking?
What are the benefits of taking a more strategic approach to teaching thinking?
What's the point?
You may well be thinking to yourself, I have a very effective brain. It seems to work okay. I get through the day without being run over by a bus. And I don't make a fool of myself all that often. So why mess with it?
Well, over the last 25 years, research carried out suggests that the brain does need some help to function effectively in this hectic and ever-changing world. As we know, our brain was originally designed to do nothing more than fight or flight. Everything else it does has evolved over a long, long time.
The speed of change in the world around us is placing greater and greater demands on our brain's incredible capability. And given these demands, anything that we can do to help it perform more effectively is going to increase our chances of success.
Interestingly enough, there is increasing evidence that the speed of change in our modern world is having a negative effect on the structural development of our brains.
Many of the most interesting discoveries at the moment relate to the so-called learning difficulties of dyslexia, dyscalculia, ADD and ADHD.
Pioneering work is finding solutions for these learning differences. We are beginning to learn how to retrace the early developmental experiences that form the building blocks of the brain. By rebuilding the neural pathways later in life, learners are able to overcome the challenges which they have historically faced.
As Dendrite partners around the world put these solutions online, they will be made available to you.
To begin your journey, let's take a closer look at your brain and your working mind.